Today we're going to check out one of my all-time favorite boost pedals, the Fortin Grind. What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Taylor and I do all sorts of guitar related stuff like this.
Some were cleansed in the fire, in the blood of 1,000 virgins. From the tiny shock, I summon thee.
On my channel. If that's something you enjoy, make sure to subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. Today what I wanted to do is take a look at this little pedal, which is full of all sorts of death metal goodness, the Fortin Grind. We'll be looking at how using this pedal as a boost affects your tone and why you may want to use one in front of your amplifier. Also, what I wanted to do is compare this to some other boost pedals to see how much of a difference this pedal in particular makes. Some of the other pedals that I have that we'll be looking at are the Boss GE-7, it's an equalizer pedal, and an Ibanez TS9 tube screamer. But before we get started, let's talk a little bit about Fortin amplifiers. Fortin Amplifiers is based out of Ontario, Canada, and was founded by Mike Fortin. Now, while it's really hard to pin down an exact date of the company's inception, it seems that Mike Fortin had been developing amplifiers and modding other people's amplifiers for a long time before the actual Fortin brand was created. Graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Electronic Engineering Technology in 1994, Mike started modifying amplifiers, particularly Marshall amplifiers, which he was known for turning into high-gain metal machines. He had also created 3 unique amplifiers: the Meathead, the Natas, that's Satan backwards for those of you paying attention at home, and Bones. Then in 2011, Fortin partnered with the metal titans Randall to help design a new tube amp line, 4 prototypes of which are owned by a fella named Kirk Hammett. Ever heard of him? And in April 2012, Randall Amplification introduced Mike Fortin as an exclusive design engineer for the company. The first order of business for Mike was to make Kirk a 150 watt high-end all-tube amplifier. And the amplifiers that Mike designed for Randall went on to replace the discontinued MTS line. He also designed Randall amplifiers for Scott Ian and Ola England while he was at Randall. Then on January 1st, 2016, Mike had announced that his contract with Randall had officially ended and he was not going to renew it. Wonder why? Probably so he could focus specifically on the Fortin brand and modding amps for Meshuggah. After this move, Mike introduced a couple new pedals to the Fortin line, the Face Punch, and the subject of today's video, the Fortin Grind. The Grind is a one-knob, frequency-selective boost pedal, and it has an extremely low noise floor and offers up to 20 decibels of boost, as well as true bypass switching for all the pedal snobs. Now, what is it that makes the Grind pedal unique to other boost pedals? You could say that it cleans up the low end, but that's a big part of the reason anyone uses a boost pedal in the first place. Is it the EQ? Well, yeah, I think the EQ has a big part to do with it, but other pedals also have selective EQ boosts, so what's special about this one? I think there's 2 main things that really make this special. Not only is the EQ used to clean up the low end, but it seems to add a tremendous amount of bite and pick attack, particularly for lower tuned guitars. And let's be honest here, I think we know who this pedal is being marketed to. Also, there's just something about the mojo of this pedal. I don't know if it's the skulls or the mystique behind the brand, but I swear when I plug in this pedal, the riffs that I write are at least 15% more aggressive and pissed off. So one of the things that I really like about the Grind pedal is not only is it an excellent sounding boost, but it has one big knob. I mean, that's it. That's all you really gotta worry about is just this one big knob right there. So it doesn't take much effort to dial in. You basically plug it in and then you turn it up to taste. So let's plug this guy in, see what it does, check it out against some other pedals, and then we'll even throw it in a mix at the end of the video just for good measure. All right, let's cut over to that. All right, guys, so I am here with my Axe FX3. I have the Recto 2 Red Modern channel dialed in, and this is what it sounds like. that I decided on this patch is because the Mesa rectifiers are known for being sort of like loose, flubby sounding amps. And one of the main reasons to boost an amp like this is to tighten it up and really like tighten up the low end. So that's what we're gonna use the Fortin grind for today. I thought this would be a good amp choice to pair that pedal with. And I debated using it with a real amplifier, but I really wanted to use a dual rectifier, and I do not have a dual rectifier at the moment at least. Yeah, let's engage the pedal and see what that does. So like you can see, that definitely tightened things up. I do want to turn up this pedal, but I think it's a little bright. But what I'm gonna do is turn up the one single knob that's on the Fortin and sort of dial back the highs and maybe the mids a little bit on the amp to see if we can kind of smooth out that top end a little bit. All right, to me, that's a really massive improvement on the tone from the Recto 2 Modern channel in the Axe Effects, and it really makes it much easier to grab things like squeals and stuff like that. All right, sounds pretty brutal. Let's see how this thing compares to the Boss GE-7. Here's the same exact tone with the Boss GE-7. Boss GE-7 sounds pretty good too. Like you can see, I don't have anything crazy going on with the Boss GE-7 there. I'm just boosting some of the top frequencies, and I have the low frequencies set pretty neutral. And then I have the volume turned all the way up to make sure we are actually boosting the amp and hitting it with a hot signal. The cool thing about using an EQ pedal like this as a boost is it gives you a lot of flexibility. Like you can get in there and really dial in those frequencies. Like here, let's cut some of the lows and let's cut out some of those highs a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, next let's hook up the Ibanez TS9 Tube Screamer and see how that differs between these two. Okay, I have the TS9 plugged in, and this is typically how I would set up this pedal. I would set it with the level all the way up, the gain all the way down, and the tone at about 1 to 2 o'clock, just depending on the guitar and amp you were using. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, pretty sloppy, but you get the idea. Okay, so playing through all of these different boosts is cool, but what do they sound like compared to each other in a mix? Let's A/B these things in a mix and see which one sounds better there. All right, cut over to that now. So what do you guys think of the Fortin grind pedal? Do you own any Fortin pedals? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much to my patrons. If you're interested in joining my Patreon, there's a link for that in the description below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.